but who knows? I think we should be live anytime now. Any moment now. I hope you have like a device in front of you to show you the chat or whatever.
I am phone pe. I have it.
Hmm. And Amangshu, can you share the episode that is live now on our WhatsApp group?
हाँ,
So,
I'll do that.
तो खाली एक बार share कर दे. We are live, yes. We are. Let me just open up the comments. मैंने देखा था शौर्य पाठक ने बहुत मतलब काफी लंबा कमेंट लिखा था पहले से. So yeah. Anyway, let me just adjust my light a little bit. I don't know. All right. Only one person here, and I feel like that's me. So hold on. तूने शेयर कर
मुझे
दिया मांगशु?
मैंने
हाँ,
ग्रुप में
okay.
डाल दिया है.
Done.
ये वही.
Great.
हाँ.
Hmm.
Our favorite sitcoms.
Our favorite sitcoms. All right. With that very nice intro. First of all, we
But
are early today. Okay.
हाँ.
हाँ, go on. Sorry.
नहीं, अभी तक हम लोग दिख रहे नहीं थे मेरे को.
दिख रहा है भाई, लाइव है. मेरी बात इस पे जस्ट मान ले. Okay. All right.
Okay.
We are live. This is episode 68 of the Discontent podcast. I'm Aditya Khanna. With me is Himanshu Arya.
Hi guys.
And this episode is called Our Favorite Sitcoms because we're going to discuss sitcoms. And the reason we're discussing sitcoms is because Bharat, our third co-panelist, is not here today. He is busy prepping for something very important, which we cannot discuss. But yeah, and because Bharat doesn't watch sitcoms, he's one of those rare people who does not believe in the concept of sitcoms. So we thought we'll take this opportunity while he's out to discuss our favorite sitcom. So here we are, and with that rather short intro, I think 11 people have already joined us, which is pretty cool. Thank you all for joining. Shaurya Pathak had written a massive word I miss Arvind Iyer. Arvind Iyer, you missed nothing. So we've just started. Shaurya Pathak has a massive this thing where he talks about how मैं पूरा नहीं पढ़ रहा हूँ, but RRR could have a sitcom if laugh tracks were added to the action scenes. So before we begin, and since we're early, what did Himanshu, did you watch RRR? Did you?
No. Did you?
I have not had the chance, but here's the thing.
Did you have an inclination for? Did you want to?
No. The thing is, for the past 4 or 5 years, no, whatever, especially when it comes to films from India, but not just that, even outside, मैं ट्रेलर देख के थोड़ा सा ना, मतलब मेरे को अभी उतना तो सिनेमा का नॉलेज है कि भाई प्लीज मेरे से देख पाऊंगा कि नहीं देख पाऊंगा सीरियसली. तो
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly when the movie that on which I gave up on Bollywood, na. Not give up, but the movie when I decided, acha, after this I'll decide properly which one I should watch or not, is Golmaal 2 or something.
Okay.
Actually, I went with my family to watch Golmaal 2, and the thing is, it was supposed to be a comedy, and I was fine with that. The comedy is good only. But the thing is, there are these random action sequences in it where people are fighting and all, and the noise is so loud. It's so loud that it hurts your ear. Okay? And I realize what is happening. Okay, they are making it so, they are cranking the volume up so much na, on the edit that you feel like, acha, you witnessed something. They are shaking you up and waking you up in the movie theater just to make you realize that kuch ho raha hai, dekho. At that point, I gave up because I don't want to. And also, it's a ringing noise. Okay, the way it's not even the right sound effect for hitting a person. Na.
Correct, but tell me about that. Is a very good story for your diary about Golmaal Returns. But tell me your this thing on RRR. Okay, like what trailer se tujhe wo kya laga?
Yeah, it looked nice visually, but I knew
did it though?
It looked like it had crazy VFX.
Yeah.
Now I am interested in that, but I know that if I put myself through 2 or 3 hours of the loud noise now, it'll give me some sort of a headache, and I really can't get to it. I can't put myself through it. अगर laptop पे आ जाएगा, अगर या फिर मेरे TV पे मैं देख लूँ, शायद मैं that's still okay. I might just sit through it, and if the movie is not good, maybe not. So,
I've said this on the podcast before also. I saw Bahubali the way it was intended, which was in a moving bus, in an overnight bus where the TV was playing Bahubali. 17 people, a couple of comments we'll take before we start on our main topic, which is sitcom. Arvind Iyer has said, "Pehli bar catching one of these episodes live, feels so accomplished." Thank you so much, Arvind. And if you'd, and before we actually begin with the episode, I would just like to add that if you like this podcast and you'd like to support this podcast, you can become a member on our Buy Me a Coffee page, and very soon on the YouTube channel itself. So that will also be happening soon. The perks involved are, the first tier is $3, where you get access to a WhatsApp group where we discuss movies and shows all the time, and you also get access to our chill streams, which going forward from this point are only going to be members for our WhatsApp group members. The second tier is a $6 tier. If you really like us, then you get all of these things. Plus, you get a chance to come on the podcast or the chill stream at some point, at least once a month, hopefully. So yeah, that those are our two things. Are our two things. In the description of this video, you can find the link of our Buy Me a Coffee page, and you can support us. If you'd like to support us and you don't see an option available over there right now, then just wait for the YouTube membership to open up probably in a couple of days, and then you can join us. And if meanwhile you want to support us anyway, you can always give us some live chat. How about that? So there is a very sweet dollar button at the bottom, and yeah, feel free to help us out with our weekend spending. And okay, no more RRR. I see people commenting about RRR, but let's just go to our topic, which is sitcoms. Himanshu, what is your number one favorite sitcom all time? Go.
Yeah, people are already talking about it, and I have mentioned it before also. My favorite of all time is probably The Office because I've seen it way too many times, and I play it randomly in the
Uh,
middle out of nowhere.
I think for
And
most people, Office plays as background noise. You know.
there are two kinds of people. Like either people watch Friends a lot now, or they watch like Office. I think Office is one of the like I can't watch Friends though. Like, have you seen Friends?
I was actually trying to avoid the topic of the big F word for as long as possible, but clearly it has stoked off our discussion immediately. So I did watch Friends. I watched Friends a lot in school when I was in ninth grade. But I feel like it's very appropriate that I watched it then, because it is only meant to be watched by ninth graders. I think anything beyond that, like I tried once watching Friends in college, and bro, no, it wasn't. It was like none of the jokes were hitting for me. None of the, like, the whole thing seemed very uh like, I don't want to diss it just because it's like super popular and because everyone disses on it, for good reason, I will add. But I don't know what else is there to say about Friends that already hasn't been said.
Yeah,
What is
there
your
are like
relation with that?
no. I think एक तो I was forced to watch it. Okay, so
Hmm.
I didn't have a good opinion on it to start with.
Why were you forced to watch it?
I had a deal with someone that if I watch Friends
Huh?
completely with that person will watch Breaking Bad with me completely.
Is this like some? Were you dating somebody, and was this like some?
वो सब छोड़ दो. So
Oh
the thing
shit!
is,
Oh, I just realized who. Sorry,
the
Makshu.
the problem is, I saw that
I just recalled. Oh no. Okay.
the problem is
Swiftly
I
moving on. Yes.
no no. So I
Sorry.
watched Friends completely like that, huh?
Huh.
But I we never got to Breaking Bad.
I have a great joke, but I'm not gonna say. But yeah.
So the thing is, Friends ना initially अगर तुम एक season देख लो, it's funny and all. Two
Huh.
seasons and all तक you can kind of bear it. The thing is, third season, fourth season onwards ना, it feels a little dated also because there are some stupid jokes that are not funny now. And
Huh.
apart from that, I was noticing other things. Like if you watch like season, I don't know what, 5 or 6, suddenly you notice that the actor who's playing Chandler now, he's lost a lot of weight.
He's let him say he had a problem in the middle. You know that he had
Yeah.
some addiction issues and all that stuff, which,
Huh.
like, I mean, one thing about sitcoms, before we delve into what our favorites are, since we're talking about Friends right now, which is not our favorite at all, but there is a sad thing about sitcoms. I find, not sitcoms per se, but people who work in them, because actors who work in sitcoms, they become like, if the sitcom becomes big, they become the biggest deal on the planet for those many years, right? While the sitcom is on and it is at its prime. And after that, they're almost always forgotten. Like, unless you're like a Jennifer Aniston and a star on your own right, otherwise, it doesn't, like, I don't know of too many like actually no, that's wrong. Seinfeld, even
No, but like How I Met Your
Steve
Mother.
Carell. Yeah, How I Met Your Mother कोई भी किसको मालूम अभी कोई.
Nobody knows
हाँ,
the lead actor, the guy
हाँ,
who played Ted Mosby.
hmm,
After that, he didn't really do anything, right? And
हाँ,
even there were so many good actors in it, like Jason Segel.
hmm,
Even he didn't get his thing. I mean, Jason Segel recently came out in a new movie, right? Did you see that one?
नहीं.
Now, that's the thing that we don't.
No, not a fuck. And we do a film podcast, and I have no idea, no fucks given about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that I guess that is enough on Friends. I don't want to ever revisit that because it was an ugly phase of my life also when I was watching Friends, and I would like to forget it as soon as possible. So going on to our favorite, so Office, you said is your favorite, is my
Do
favorite.
you
I
remember?
guess one of my favorites also. Huh? Do I remember what?
Do you remember episodes from Office? Do
I
you remember?
do. I'll tell you why. Because I recently rewatched the whole Office. So here's what happens. I work from home, right? So
Huh.
and I'm a writer. So and my wife who I work with, she is a graphic designer and animator, right? So like both of us are working all day. I'm either reading some research that I have to do, or I'm writing, or I'm like fucking procrastinating, and she's doing her stuff. And it's not a lot of like a lot of times not a lot of thinking work, so we just keep like the Office playing in the background while we work. So I have seen Office multiple times because of that. So I remember Office very well. And I think like have you seen the British Office at all?
Yeah, but not fully. But yeah.
I've seen it. And dude, it's actually insane. What I feel like Office is a great example of what you can do with an idea. Where which Ricky Gervais' Office is, just for those who don't know, it's just 2 seasons and I think 12 episodes or 6 episodes. I'm not sure, but मैं बहुत पहले देखा था, college के time पर देखा था. So I mean, they took like that basic idea and just kicked it into overdrive. And in fact, that is, I think, another reason why a lot of people who you recommend Office to, they don't watch it for a long time, because the first season is not the best, because the first season is very British, so that works in the Ricky Gervais one, but in this one it did not work as well, which is why it gets good after season 2.
No, I think the first season is not for. It's a bit more dank. It's a
It
little
is
darker.
it is a little dark, yeah. Which is what I'm
So
saying, it's a little British, yeah.
yeah, the rest of the season, so season two onwards, it suddenly becomes a very romantic
Hmm.
comedy, and it's like you're interested in the lives of the main two characters, like Jim and
Jim and
Pam.
Pam, yeah.
So the other people, like other, so they have one character, a couple of dank characters in the show,
Huh.
characters who like Kevin and Creed, and these people are the a little, they cross the line with
Yeah.
their humor, but
Yeah.
Michael Scott himself doesn't, right?
Michael
He's
Scott himself crosses a lot of lines. What the fuck are you talking about? Have you
no,
seen?
but if you the way he did in season one, na, where he's like
Ah,
sexual harassment
yeah, that's
office
that's
में.
no, but I mean, he kissed Oscar also, yeah, at one point
Yeah, so
forcibly. So
so that was not in season one, right? That
yeah.
was in the later one.
By the
Bro,
way,
Indian
there
version.
is a comment. 1 second, yeah, there's a comment. Harkirat Singh has said thoughts on Office India. There is no thoughts on Office India. There's only thoughts and prayers for Office India. Okay, it does not merit my thoughts, at least I feel.
Bro,
But
that
yeah,
guy, that actor, they got him to. He looks similar though, right?
bro, that, oh my god, that the guy who they got to play, you know what? Um
Shit on them, na.
I don't
It's
want to
not
shit
their
on
fault.
them. It's not their fault. It's not the actor's fault. It's the people who are making it. Okay, you're getting Office to be remade in India. Okay, fine, whatever. It's from the beginning. It's a bad idea, I feel. But uh, okay, fine. You might make a miracle out of it. But the fact is, you are getting a show, and you clearly have not watched it enough, because the entire show kind of hinges on Michael Scott, which is why Office eventually in the later season became kind of shitty, right? Because when Michael Scott leaves, it just becomes. तेरा आवाज नहीं आ रहा, by the way.
नहीं, मैंने कुछ बोला भी नहीं
अच्छा.
क्योंकि I didn't want to break
Oh
you.
my god.
No, but he leaves in season 7 or 8, I think, and there are two
हाँ,
more seasons after that,
हाँ.
and they get Will Ferrell
Hmm.
to take that part up. But
Correct.
no matter how much I like Will Ferrell,
Will Ferrell, and then even that guy, no, Robert California, and you know what? What's really interesting about The Office as a sitcom, is, to me at least, is that beyond, the regular sitcoms of, say, for example, your Friends or Big Bang Theory or whatever, the shitty ones, like some pissing people off purposely, but the shitty ones, is why it's better is because it does not, there's always a factor of relatability in comedy. That's always going to be there. But what you do with that relatability is a very big, that's the difference between like your reels and well written shows, right? So what The Office does is takes that relatability, but does not necessarily make it positive relatability. It's mostly negative relatability.
It's
And
cringe watch, na.
yeah, and it's, I think the show gets right how much people love watching other people fail. So the yeah.
Bro, Sambhav just wrote a comment. I completely agree. I think
हाँ.
the Indian Michael Scott was given the direction. Think Amir Khan with just a hint of cocaine.
हाँ, वो बहुत ओवर एक्ट, मैं थोड़ा सा देखा, बहुत ओवर एक्टिंग था यार उसमें उसमें कुछ
थोड़ा मतलब
ज्यादा
वो
ही.
सीजन 1 ही निकला है ना, सीजन 2 तो
हाँ,
निकला ही
एंड
नहीं, और
बट द
सीजन
थिंग
1
इज.
is a ham of season 1 and 2. Do you
हम्म.
remember that? It's
हम्म.
not exactly season 1. What happens at the end of season 2 or 3? They put it in season 1 ka end only. Like
हम्म.
they cram it in. Like these two people fall in love too fast in
हम्म.
in the Indian version. While Jim
तूने
and
पूरा
Pam,
देखा?
एक ही तो सीजन निकला था.
तूने पूरा सीजन देखा है हिमांशु?
I think I saw it with you, bro. We were cringe
Guys,
watching it.
no, first of all, I'm clarifying this. Himanshu did not watch this with me. And second, are you guys looking at the fucking dedication that the people of Discontent are putting into making this podcast? Please hit the like and the subscribe button immediately for Himanshu, and put F for Himanshu in the chat. If I don't know, we don't have that loyal a fan base ki,
मैं बताता हूँ मैंने क्या क्या
लोग F
पूरा देखा.
लिखेंगे, but I don't know. Hopefully.
मैंने मॉडर्न फैमिली, पार्क्स एंड रेक,
Hmm.
ऑफिस, हाउ आई मेट योर मदर एंड बिग बैंग थ्योरी, ये सब मैंने पूरा देखा है.
हाँ.
मैंने पीप शो, द 70s शो, द फ्रेश प्रिंस ऑफ बेल एयर, ये
हाँ.
सब भी पूरा देखा.
तूने ये सब तो मैंने बहुत ही अलग जोन में देखा पूरा. तो ओके, दिस गुड, यू दैट्स अ गुड आइडिया. वी शुड लिस्ट आउट. Please don't do this chat thing irritating as fuck. Harkirat, I completely agree with you, and I also find this shit damn annoying. But I don't know, kabhi kabhi wo, you watch other people's streams and then you're like, हमें भी करना चाहिए. But I guess you're right. Yeah, we are in the wrong over here. But anyway, you suggest a good thing, which is let's just start whatever sitcoms you watch. So you've watched those. Is there anything else you want to mention
आई एम
that
श्योर अ
you've
लॉट
watched?
ऑफ, हाँ और
हाँ.
भी है, बट दीज आर द ones which I remember.
So I'll tell you guys my favorites. This is The Office. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's Community and Trailer Park Boys are some, and Curb Your Enthusiasm are some of my favorites, because all of these, and I'm not that much of a fan of clean comedy or even clean adjacent comedy. I find it to be very fuck all.
Seinfeld
Sometimes.
देखा है तो, I've seen
Seinfeld
Seinfeld.
I've seen, but long ago. It used to come on TV when you were kids. मैंने अपना पूरा 10th boards, by the way.
हाँ, मैंने
Seinfeld
मैंने
almost got
मॉडर्न फैमिली
failed
मैंने
me.
मॉडर्न
Yeah.
फैमिली और शिट्स क्रीक भी देखा है.
I've seen Modern Family. I've seen Schitt's Creek out of the corner of my eye while my wife was watching it. But yeah.
Good
So
Place is damn good. So, Kavish just wrote Good Place. Have you seen Good
I've
Place?
seen a little bit of Good Place. I mean I got it, but I was like, eh. But
हाँ.
I'll tell you what, the reason I listed all these out, because all of these are very, I really enjoy crass comedy. Okay. So all of these shows, especially something like Trailer Park Boys and Sopranos, किसने लिखा Sopranos? Victor Mitra. Sopranos is not a sitcom. But I really like these ones, especially Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because I personally, in terms of comedy, I feel like I'm so desensitized that मेरे को, like, I have no option but shock comedy. You know, do you ever find yourself in that kind of a position, or तू अभी भी मतलब you're good with regular clean comedy, PG-13 kind of stuff?
I think I'm fine with it because Schitt's Creek is very regular comedy. It doesn't cross the line at all, if I remember correctly. And I'm fine with it. It's okay. If it's light and funny, it's okay. Modern Family is also like that only. Na? It's very like
Modern Family is also, I think I would not put Modern Family in something that is like very crass or something. It strictly stays, but it likes to approach that line, which is why I really enjoyed Modern Family as well. That was fun. Though I want to tell you guys about Always Sunny in Philadelphia a little bit. Like I'm itching to talk about that
हाँ हाँ बोलना.
because the
I
my
saw the first season with you. I remember.
I made you watch that. Dude. So the thing with Always Sunny is that it's made by friends. Okay, these guys were, I think, if I'm not wrong, the people who are in the show, except for Danny DeVito, all of them were friends in Philadelphia. I think they had access to a bar or something, and they wanted to shoot a show, but they didn't want to go to Hollywood. I guess they got rejected a bunch of times, so they decided to just self-produce it and put it on like local cable, and then like it got really popular in like underground indie scene, and then Danny DeVito decided to come on board, and since then it's just history. Like the kind of comedy that is on Always Sunny in Philadelphia is, I think, some of the best out there, and it's so ignored. Like it's still on. The show is still on. It's renewed, I think, till season 15, 16 or something. Okay, some of the few shows to consistently be good. They've almost never had a dip in quality. Okay. And they've never, like, I know the term is very vague, but like they've never technically sold out. You know, even though they're on a big network, they retained their the core of what their comedy is, and I think that is pretty epic. So that is my favorite, at least.
I
Amongst
think
his.
I think the one which I liked a lot was the Peep Show. Have you seen that one? Have you heard
I
about this
haven't.
one?
It's on my watch list. I know about it, but tell me.
So it's on. I think it's on Netflix. I'm not sure,
Hmm.
but it's basically. I'll just tell you the idea. Okay, there are two guys. They're roommates. Okay,
Hmm.
and the whole show is basically point of view of one of them, and it shifts to the other person as well. So when it's, say, if you and I are a roommate, if I am talking to you, then the camera is basically looking at you and you're looking into the camera and talking, and you
Hmm.
can't see me, the camera can't see me, and it's basically you can hear my thoughts though. So
Okay.
I'm basically talking to you and I'm thinking, Acha, Aditya, what an idiot, you know.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
it cuts to you,
Huh.
your point of view, and what you are thinking. So at
Huh.
no point do you see both of them together. There is no cut outside both
Hmm.
of us, and it's just two people acting. And there's only one person additionally. There's just Olivia Colman.
Hmm.
She's playing the girlfriend of one of them. So it's just three people, and it very rarely cuts to Olivia's point of view. So it's
Hmm.
basically two people's point of view. That's it. And it has like 10 seasons or something.
Hmm. I
And
Yeah, go on, go on.
no, you need to watch it to get it.
Correct. So Harkirat has in the chat mentioned dark comedy gem, The In-Betweeners. I completely agree. It's a pretty fucked up show. I don't know if it has, listen, I watched this shit like 5, 6 years ago. So I don't know if it has some fucked up shit in it, which I'm sure it does. But In-Betweeners is a British comedy about like these high school students, and it's like really raunchy. Like it's really fucked up. And they're every character in that show is a dickhead. Like that's the premise. Like a lot of the sitcoms that I tend to like. And yeah, so that's another good one. Another show that I would like to recommend to people, like the Peep Show, as Himanshu said, is Trailer Park Boys. I think I've spoken about it on the podcast before, but Trailer Park Boys is epic. Like it is so under the radar. I can't believe people haven't caught on to it. I feel like these are the shows जो 500 साल बाद like people will start watching it and be like, fuck, why did we miss out on this? But it's a Canadian TV show. It started in the early 2000s, I think, and till for like about 7 seasons, they produced this really tiny TV channel in Canada, produced it, and it was on local Canadian TV. And I think uske 4-5 saal baad Netflix bought it. They made a show with it, and then they made another animated series with it. But Trailer Park Boys is essentially about a couple of two men living in a trailer park in Canada. Their names are Ricky and Julian, and Ricky is a drug dealer, and Julian is just like a hoodlum. Okay, and he both of, like the format of the show is such that every year at the beginning, the season, right, every season begins with the two of them getting released from prison and ends with the two of them ending up in prison. Okay, and after a point, like after season 3 4 na, they just love prison. Like they hate coming out because prison is so comfortable according to them, and it's a lot worse. And also it's also a mockumentary. So again, another early days mockumentary um show. So yeah, that, please watch Trailer Park Boys. It's on Netflix. People are really recommending Crashing
हाँ
in the
मैंने देखा है
comments.
मैंने देखा
How
है
was that,
क्रैशिंग
Himanshu?
क्रैशिंग का आई थिंक ज़्यादा सीजन्स नहीं है I think
Hmm.
there are like 2 or 3 only. So, and it's on Netflix, and I've seen it. It's very like you can watch it in. I think you can watch it in a day or two. And
Hmm.
it's basically about a group of kids in England who have crashed into a hospital. मुझे अच्छे से याद नहीं. It could be some other show also that I'm looking at. I
Hmm.
think it's about that one. कि a group
Crashing is
of
one season only. Hercules.
it's one
Uh,
season only. So it's about a group of kids. They have crashed into a hospital and they don't have money. Also, they don't have anything to do. So they're basically chilling in a. So it looks funny, right? A group of kids. They have nothing to do. They're in a desolate hospital and they are just sitting on,
hmm.
with hospital equipment around, and they're just talking to each other. Somebody's painting. Somebody's doing something. So
Hmm.
this one wrote it, na? Phoebe Walter
Phoebe Waller Bridge. Phoebe Waller Bridge.
Waller-Bridge.
Yes.
Yeah, she wrote this one, and she went on to do the other one, which was Fleabag, which got really
Fleabag was,
popular.
but Fleabag, I have watched a little bit of Fleabag. I have to. It's one of those things I have to watch and I haven't. But is it a sitcom or is it like a drama? I thought it was like a drama slash. It's more in that space rather than a
It's
sitcom.
no, it's I think it's a sitcom,
Hmm.
but yeah, you're right. It's like if you're considering crashing a sitcom, then this is the same. It's a
Okay.
sitcom only.
Hmm. Okay, let's go a little deeper into some of the shows that we've mentioned. Uh, where does I generally want to ask you, what do you think of the mockumentary genre? Because the Trailer Park Boys, a community, there is sorry, not community. Trailer Park Boys Office. There is a lot more of mockumentary show. Modern Family,
Parks
Arrested
and Rec.
Development. Oh, sorry, yeah, Parks and Rec also I've seen a little bit. Parks and Rec. So what do you think of that? Because I know Himanshu has also made a mockumentary. So I think, what do you think about the genre as a whole? Has it evolved? Do you think at this point everyone's just aping each other, or do you think it still has a space for people to make more mockumentary shows, or do you think that whole wave has gone and now whatever new mockumentary comes up, you look at it with a little suspicion? What do you
No,
think?
I don't think. Yeah, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. It's not. I don't think it's a wave that comes and goes. See, it's a style of filmmaking, and also having made one, I know it's a
Hmm.
very easy way to make a movie. Like
Hmm.
imagine if you have to fill up,
It
imagine you
is.
have to
Yeah.
fill up a 30-minute slot,
Right.
right? On a TV program, like
Hmm.
programming mein, if you have been given every day 30-minute slot now, and you have to fill it, you wouldn't go into this cinematic way of shooting a movie, right?
Exactly. A
So
mockumentary definitely is an out. It's like a very,
it
it's
takes
very,
time with it. Like
yeah.
interviews cut with scenes which
Hmm.
are like एक ही जल्दी में shoot कर लिया ना, right? If three four
Also
people
the
in the room.
also the technical format of shooting like that, doesn't that lend so well to comedy? Because you can cut, like you can do an interview with an actor for an hour, right? And you can just get a lot of good stuff from that. Like if the actor is good, you can improv, and from there you can get a lot of stuff that you can put inside the show actually,
I'll tell
so
you two things that a mockumentary does that other movies never do. Is
hmm,
that they use the most basic form of shooting a video or a film. Basically, they can pan and zoom, right?
hmm,
And other shows don't. Like no show,
correct. No, they
they
don't they
never
don't
pan.
zoom. Yeah.
And pan and zoom are very powerful.
Hmm.
Like just zooming onto your face for 1 second is a good enough punchline.
Correct.
And that's what they do in the office, right? Like
Hmm.
they just zoom onto Jim's face. Jim just looks at the camera and it's funny.
And it's still funny. It's still hilarious.
And
You know,
there's no laugh track.
laugh track though I feel like is a no go. Like I think there was a point. I think post once the new millennium started, I think there is no excuse to put a laugh track in a show. Honestly,
No,
like
but have you seen like WandaVision and all? Have you seen
I
this
have
one?
not seen WandaVision. Not a sitcom, no, but
They tried. It's like
अरे
basically
यार पर वो
a
सिटकॉम थोड़ी
homage.
ना. अरे पर उसमें वो उसमें करता है मेरे को मालूम है, but that doesn't make it a sitcom. That's what in the people are, the boys is sitcom. No, it's not sitcom. It's satire and drama. It's not sitcom.
This
Sopranos
one
किसी
does
ने
it,
बोला.
no?
uh, American Vandal. American Vandal. People are commenting. We were the first. Okay, this is we can take hipster credit.
Yeah.
Actually, hipster credit क्या अभी तक it's not that popular. But the
We
American
were
Vandal
we recommended it in one of our
long
first
ago.
episodes.
We were like the early missionaries of American Vandal, and it's not a coincidence that Netflix has been going down ever since they canceled that genius show. It had 2 seasons, and I believe everyone should watch American Vandal. It's beautiful. Okay. Harkirat Singh, does Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip qualify as a sitcom?
Yeah.
Similarly,
Have you seen it?
underrated. I've seen a little bit, and also एक और चीज कहना चाहूंगा कि हम लोग सेंसर बोर्ड थोड़ी ना सिटकॉम के कि हमको ऐसा लोग पूछ रहे हैं ये सिटकॉम है क्या, ये कुछ और भी कमेंट करो भाई, अपने ओपिनियन दो, ये क्या हो रहा है. तो हाँ,
But Studio 60 is so good. Like the character guy. What's the name of the guy who played Chandler?
Matthew Perry, no, Matthew Perry is in. I know that. I've seen the pilot.
It's basically SNL.
Hmm.
Like what happens behind the scenes of an SNL thing, and it's damn funny. Achha, I wanted to talk about a particular episode of The Office.
Okay, let's do it. हाँ.
I think some people know about it. Some because it's
चलेगा,
considered.
जिसको मालूम है चलेगा. हाँ, तू बोलना.
It's considered to be the cringiest episode of The Office.
It's the dinner party, isn't it?
No.
Or something else. Which one?
It's called the Scotch Tots.
Scott Stotts. Anyone who knows, please. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm not gonna do the chat thing. Never mind.
But
I really feel like singing that song right now.
Don't. You can, but I don't remember the lyrics. The thing is, Scott Todd, I couldn't watch it when I was watching. When you're watching this show alone, and every episode is cringe-worthy, but like to a degree.
Yeah.
It's cringy to a degree that you can bear.
Scott Stotts went past all boundaries. I think that is
You're
one
like,
of the.
I had to pause it like so many times, and I was like, "Kya ho raha hai? Why can't I sit through this one?"
Because it's a train wreck. You can see it happening, right? You can see that train wreck. Because the thing is that I think that's a very clever technique in writing also, where when you're planning a joke, but you know that the joke, the situation is itself so funny that you can crack the joke from now on. So everyone in the show knows immediately that he cannot pay for their college tuition, but it still lands. And the genius of that is that they tell you that from the beginning, so you are just waiting for that blow up to happen, and that is amazing.
There is a particular subreddit dedicated to Scott. Is this called Scott Stotts? And they make memes on that one episode again and again. It's bad. That episode is really.
Abhinav has asked, can we consider Simpsons or Family Guy sitcom? But of course, see, break it down in your head. It's called a situational comedy. If the show is based around specific characters in one setting specifically, and everything sort of happens around there, that is a sitcom. If it doesn't, it's not a sitcom. That's the distinction. So Simpsons and Family Guy, yes, they would be.
Yeah. Also the way they shoot it, because a lot of shows now, they resemble movies, right?
Correct.
Like I think the difference is like the Big Bang Theory is a sitcom, but the Young Sheldon,
correct,
it's not a sitcom, even though it seems because it's like it's shot like a movie, right? It's interacting with his parents, and there is no laugh track, there is no, it feels like it's a decent show, but of course they try to, jitna dekha, it was okay only, you won't get hooked onto it and watch it for the next season or whatever. But then it's not a sitcom exactly. It's a little bit of more, there's drama, and there's the camera kind of cuts to other scenes in other locations with other people in it. So it becomes like a movie, right?
I mean, no, not it's very complicated. Maybe we should not get more deeper into this debate of what is a sitcom and what is not. 31 people watching, by the way. Please like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Meanwhile, can we move on, Himanshu? From The Office, I think there's enough Office, but yeah, the Harkira is part of a good debate, which is favorite Office character has to be Dwight Foreman. Who is your favorite Office character?
I think I love two of them. एक का तो नाम ही भूल गया मैंने, but एक तो Creed है, ठीक है?
Creed, yeah.
He's like a serial killer in the background.
Yeah, he gets arrested though at the end.
Yeah, something there is.
No, he does. He does get arrested at the end.
There was this in-joke that there is a serial killer in what is that name of that place?
That's Toby, Scranton Strangler. Yeah, Himanshu, tu dhang se dekh kya hai agar ye.
He's
mixing up two killers. There is Creed, who's just a crazy criminal who's lived a mad life, who's just here with a changed identity, and he's just been there. And the second is Toby, who Michael hates, who's the HR guy, and he was on the jury for Scranton Strangler, and since then there have been a lot of like analysis videos and stuff, and the show constantly hints on how he was most likely the Scranton Strangler. But my favorite character, meanwhile, is Stanley. By far, it is because Stanley did not get as many like punchlines, but the one that he got kept me afloat for like a couple of seasons. which is when he has that episode of Michael is talking to him, where Michael tells him to like keep his crossword down and just focus on the meeting, and he says no. He keeps saying no, and then and then he says, "Did I stutter?" Really loud, and then Michael kind of shits his pants and just walks out of the office. So I think Stanley for me is the one of the best characters. Mr. Pink said Ryan is relatable. Dude, I feel really bad for you, man. What the fuck? Why is Ryan relatable to you? Oh my god. Um
But
just want
Ryan,
to
it was a surprise when I saw
huh.
Ryan in Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah, he was in Inglourious
I was
Bastards.
like, out of nowhere, this guy showed up here, man.
And he had that iconic dialogue, which is no, sorry, that was Brad Pitt's. This just might be your masterpiece. My masterpiece. Sorry.
But he's
But
very
वो frame में
important.
था. हाँ, yeah,
Uh,
he is. Yeah,
that's nice, yeah. Good for him. And he's
yeah.
also, I think he also wrote the show. Na?
Acha, this chat thing we can do. Please give us the your favorite office characters while we move on to maybe another show in the comments. Aniket Chaudhary, just want to say it. I don't like sitcoms. By the way, great stream. That's great. This is why you're like Bharat. Bharat isn't here, so we're doing this. And yeah, otherwise, honestly, you guys don't normally see us talking about sitcoms or even anime. Like I watch a lot of anime and stuff, but Bharat doesn't, so we don't talk about it. So yeah,
Yeah, there are lots of things that we discuss. Catch up, should we talk about it? But then other
हाँ,
two haven't seen it. So,
ऐसा बहुत होता है हमारे साथ. So
Achha,
yeah,
have you
we
guys
can.
seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I have.
I have to.
Yes.
It's really good. But I think it
Hmm.
gets overlooked a little, like at least
मेरे
in
को
this chat.
मेरे को ठीक ठाक लगता है. मतलब I find it funny. I think it is funny as a sitcom, and I think it holds up somewhat. But I don't. I'm not a fan of the. It's a little. I think it's also meant for like a younger age group. I feel. I think it's not meant for
No, but
older
I think
people.
I'll tell
I
you what.
find.
I'll tell you what. It's very fast. The
Hmm.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is actually faster in terms of comedy than say The Office. So
Correct.
a lot of the jokes get like it skips your mind because you don't understand that it's a joke. It's
Hmm.
liner ke upar liner ke upar liner. Third line is all the lines are a joke, so you can't
Yeah.
really catch up to it. So if you can watch it again and you can take out a lot of stuff from it. So and also I like those intros. Like each episode of
Huh.
the
Correct.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine has a special intro only. It's like it's away from the rest of the show, right?
Hmm.
So you can watch a series of those also, and it's still funny. So I don't know. There are some of them which are very viral type. They keep showing up on Instagram. Do you
Hmm.
remember that one? Like there are four people accused.
And they're singing.
That
Yeah.
song.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah. So I think in the beginning when I was talking about, I think I'm too desensitized to like normal comedy. That's a problem in my brain. But yeah, I think or fuck, what is this? This is my problem. The problem with my brain runs deeper, it seems. But yeah, that's the problem with my brain. That's why I couldn't get that much brain Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think it's too nice. It's a nice show. It's too much. That's what Avinash has just put it better than me. It's too much nice core. Yeah, that's
I'll
true.
tell
I
you. I'll
agree.
tell you one thing that differentiates sitcoms with like shows.
Hmm.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, winner. Like the characters don't have any growth, and they don't need to have a growth, right?
Hmm.
Like except for them getting married or whatever. Like a couple of characters. Like for
That's in
example,
every sitcom. You'll never see a character's core trait really changing extremely. That's like a tenet of sitcoms, huh?
but like if you see Big Bang Theory,
Hmm.
for the first
I
four
don't
or
see
five,
Big Bang Theory. This is why.
I know. But like I'll tell you, the first four
Ah,
or five seasons, the characters are not changing. They are
ah,
how they are. And that's why it's funny. But what
right.
they do after the fifth or sixth season is they start getting, you know, like they start making changes for each character, and
Ah,
it happens because they've kind of fallen in love with someone or the other. They all start finding someone for themselves, right?
huh.
So what happens is like even Sheldon, the character is so absurd, right? He's funny because of that. He starts getting like humane. He starts becoming like a normal person by the end of it.
I
And like
think, yeah, sorry.
so it kind of messes up with the
No, but
tone.
I'll tell you what, this is a bigger this thing. तो थोड़ा chat पे 2 minute के लिए रहने दे. But I'm just saying. But I think this is a deeper thing with sitcoms because they can be taken out of context very easily. Like going further into years, I think we will find a lot of sitcoms from present day or even earlier, which are going to get called out for good or bad reason or whatever. I think this is going to happen a lot with sitcoms, because the problem, the funny of the sitcom comes from not having, for leaving characters out of context. Okay. If you, are you listening to me? So it leaves those characters out of context. Like, so if Michael Scott is doing something stupid, it's, if you add too much context to it, now that person, that character becomes a real human being. Okay. And the moment it becomes a real human being, it stops being funny, like you were talking about Big Bang Theory. And the thing is, that's why the best sitcoms will get cancelled eventually. Okay, I feel, because the moment you start compromising with your character's tenets, that character becomes human, and then it's not that funny. And that's why, like, for example, shows that I really like, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and even Community, those people, the person who's a dick will stay a dick till the end. Okay, will have some nice flashes of niceness, but they will still remain the same always. But yeah, I think that'll, do you think that is a thing for sitcoms, like the good ones will keep getting cancelled? तू
I
कुछ
can't.
सर्च कर रहा था क्या?
Yeah, because I got reminded of something. Basically, I'll tell you about what I was searching later. Another nice
थोड़ा
sitcom.
conversation पे भी ध्यान दे दे. Thank
Sorry,
you,
sorry, sorry.
Himanshu.
Arey,
Yeah.
people are
You
writing a lot of
realize we're
stuff in the
live,
comments.
so fuck the people. I'm saying focus on the podcast. There's an audio this thing going. You focus on that. Yes.
नहीं तो
I
फिर
asked
वापस.
you a question, if you remember.
Arey, I don't think I have a proper answer to it because
हाँ
it's like a very. मतलब, how do I say only? What do I say? All
हाँ.
I can say is if I like them or if they age well or not. I feel like How I Met Your Mother did not age well.
Hmm.
I think Schitt's Creek will age very well because it's Schitt's Creek is about the characters are, you know, they're struggling to find themselves right through the shows. So they are and they have different problems and they solve each problem through the course of the thing.
हाँ. Harkirat has come to your defense like Krishna and has said, "Don't scold Himanshu." अरे ये तो मतलब, he doesn't know how our friendship has been so clearly.
हाँ.
Very this.
अरे हाँ. नहीं, but I'll tell you one show that I saw recently which which messes with the conversation that we were having, that what is a sitcom. It messes with the idea of it. Like as you mentioned right now, that some characters need to be two-dimensional, right? You can't like
You
have
can't give
depth.
them context. Yeah.
You can't have depth. So one of this there's this show called wait, let me just find. I had the name here. Okay, it's called Kevin Can Fuck Himself.
Kevin can fuck himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a show by it's the actress in it is Annie Murphy, who is also in Schitt's Creek. So I watched it because of her. And this is a very nice format of a show, and they probably will renew it for a season 2. The idea is that the girl, there's a husband and wife. Annie Murphy plays the wife, and then the husband is basically a character called Kevin. So whenever Annie Murphy is with Kevin, she is in a sitcom because he keeps cracking jokes.
Right.
So inside the house, every time they enter or they meet each other, the lighting is well lit, and they're all dressed well, and there's a laugh track because he keeps making fun of her as the clumsy wife who doesn't know how to handle, and himself as this good guy or whatever. But the thing is, the moment she leaves, the moment he leaves, the moment Kevin leaves the room, the show becomes really dark, like The Boys, or the tone of it, the visual tone shifts.
But you know what that's reminding me of? Have you seen that Oliver Stone film on those the two lovers who are killers, Woody Harrelson and I forget the actress's name. Natural Born Killers.
Oh, Natural Born Killers.
Usme, do you remember there's a scene in that?
No, I don't.
Okay, so
I didn't see it.
Those of y'all who've not seen Natural Born Killers, there's a scene in that film where basically it's about a couple, like it's like Bonnie and Clyde, that age-old thing, like a fucked up Bunty or Bubbly, if you may. So that it's essentially so they're showing like the origin of the female of that couple, and in her origin she comes from a very abusive household. Okay, but the way Oliver Stone has directed it is like a sitcom. So only in that scene, the movie is suddenly a sitcom where there's a laugh track, where her father is abusive, her family is like really fucked up, and there's like all kinds of fucked up shit happening. And yeah, so I think that's a pretty good. But that seems like a very interesting way to treat the show, man. Kevin can go fuck himself.
No, Kevin can fuck himself. So the
Kevin
thing
can fuck
is,
himself.
the idea is, and it's very
Uh,
interesting. The wife, and it's there in the trailer, it's there in the show very early on. She is planning to kill him,
okay.
and but when he doesn't know, right? So
Hmm.
whenever she's away from him, na, like she's basically going looking for poison, looking for serial killers, looking for. So her personal life is very different and is very dark, and she's going under, and the people whom she meets is like they're drug dealers or whatever, like people who are addicted and all. So she's meeting these kind of people, she's going through, and then she gets into a racket with the mafia, and people are trying to kill her. On
Hmm.
top of that, every time she meets him, the moment she enters, and she enters the house, basically the house is a sitcom
Hmm.
where the Kevin is on the couch, he's
I
watching
got. Huh.
TV, and he's cracking jokes on his clumsy wife who can't even handle the household. But the moment she leaves, it gets super dark,
Got it.
and
No, I got
that's
the. I got the format, and I think it's damn good. That's what I'm saying. So,
yeah.
someone was saying, Natural Born Killer written by Let Me Tell You What Like a Virgin is about. Yeah, it was written by Tarantino. They have already talked about, what have we talked about? They have you seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? If you have thoughts, yeah, I gave a lot of thoughts, but I'm not going to depth on. I just spoke about why that show is inspiring to me to watch, which is that because just a bunch of friends who made it. But Himanshu, in case you have forgotten, I just want to give you our audience the context of that show. It's about a bar in Philadelphia run by these four people, five people actually. There's Charlie, who's Charlie is border. He's illiterate. All right, this is the this thing of character. He's literally like he cannot read or write. There is fuck. What are their names? डैनी डिविटो का नाम क्या है उसमें? Holy shit, I can't believe this is happening in the middle of a stream. I'll have to.
Don't put
Oh
yourself
my
through this.
god.
It's
I'm
okay.
I am putting myself through hell right now,
Mac
actually.
and Frank,
Mac and Frank and
Dennis.
D and Dennis. So D and Dennis are twins, and D and Dennis is essentially a psychopath. And that's not just saying it. He is like people have made analysis videos on how he is a psychopath. Like that character is a psychopath. D is a female psychopath. She's basically the same as him. And if anyone wants an intro into just a peep into what Always Sunny in Philadelphia does and what kind of topics it likes to go after, things that other shows will never touch in a million years, which is just Google the Times Up episode, okay, or the Me Too episode, where the whole episode is about the group feeling scared because Dennis is a psychopath and he is really afraid that there'll be women who will come after him. So he is doing this convention to sort of just watch the episode, all right? Because and despite all the darkness and all the humor that it does, the point that it makes is still valid because it's still on the right side of history. I think that's why a lot of people wonder why these guys are not cancelled. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think people miss out on the fact that if you look at their shows carefully, their politics is always on the right side, and you're never asked to side with with a character that is doing something wrong. You can laugh at the character doing something wrong, but you don't side with them, and it's always on the right side. So yeah, it's really interesting stuff. Like Always Sunny in Philadelphia is like it goes through, it purposely goes through those laser rooms and tries to like swirl and get out.
People are writing about each episode
How's
that they like.
yeah. How
Do you
sweet, dude.
remember
People
them?
actually wrote the names and stuff to help me out. Abortion episode, yes. The abortion episode. How about the gun control episode? Great writing. I don't recall the gun control episode right now, but yeah, I get what you're saying in the realm. One of my
अरे
favorites is
साउथ
one.
पार्क याद है तेरे को?
South Park is actually I'm kind of surprised.
Nobody
Uh,
mentioned South Park
Nobody mentioned South Park, and South Park I didn't mention South Park. I kind of forgot. South
because
Park
I
was like
remember
my
Aditya showed me South Park, and he made me watch like the first 7 or 8 seasons of it. I
yeah.
have seen it with him, and I got hooked onto it, but I started not liking it the moment it became too clean of an animation.
Ah, correct.
When it became really well animated, then I said, "Acha, theek hai, ab chhod." अब हो गया. But
No,
before that,
but yeah, South Park. I think good segue into South Park from Always Sunny. Because I consider Always Sunny to be like live action adult South Park. But this is Mr. Bink has said, and I agree with him. South Park is so chemically imbalanced. Me, he loves it. Yes, I agree. And South Park is, I feel like it's. And sorry for saying this, but it's an emotion. Okay, it's a South Park is not just. It's a moment in time because they. I think for the past few seasons, ever since Trump got elected, and when Trump was elected, they started doing this. South Park shifted from their format of wow, I heard that I heard that Ultra Pro Max not into here,
yeah.
but so they
And
started doing
I
this
see I'm sick
serialized
a
thing.
little. Huh? Just for
हाँ,
the
आजा आजा, it's okay. But
sorry.
थोड़ा जल्दी यार, don't like fuck off now. Fuck, you can't even hear me. But yeah, so ever since they started this like serialized format of sort of episode after episode and episodic thing, I think that is because of that the past few seasons haven't been that good. But before that, everything is solid. Since Himanshu is gone, I can take a bunch of your comments. Um, so yeah, please give me some comments so I can say something. Otherwise, there's not much. But there are 31 people. So actually, this is a good time to make a plug for our Buy Me a Coffee page. If you like the podcast and would like to support us and what we do, and you want the podcast to continue, because this is nowhere have we promised we're going to do this forever. So whenever the expenses become too much, then we will stop. So if you want us to continue for a longer time, please consider supporting us on our Buy Me a Coffee page, which is the link for that is in the description below. If you can't use Buy Me a Coffee, then you can join through YouTube memberships, but that will be active in a couple of days, so you can do that. There are two tiers of memberships. One is a $3 one, with which you get access to our WhatsApp group, and a $6 one, in which you can come on the podcast. So please consider supporting us. If you don't want to become a member and you don't really want to join the WhatsApp group, you can also support us through Super Chat. There's a great dollar sign right there, and you can help us by getting the big bucks. So maybe we can someday donate to Scott Stotts also. Um, Futurama, South Park are better than Family Guy. Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, Futurama is something that flows under the radar very often, but I absolutely love Futurama. Himanshu, have you seen Futurama?
नहीं यार, कहाँ पे देख सकते हैं? मुझे पता ही नहीं
I
कहाँ पे
don't
मिल.
remember. मेरे पास पूरा I had the full show once upon a time on my PC, but yeah, Futurama is damn good. Like Futurama is one of those like again it flew under the radar
The
because
problem is these shows, na, when we were
hmm,
growing up, when we had time to watch them, they were not available anywhere, and we
anywhere.
made too much effort into watching it. Like we
हाँ,
put in that effort to download it and all that.
correct.
Now, अब मैं Futurama कहाँ देखूँ? अभी भी OTT आ गया, but it's not there in on any platform.
Are you sure? It might be there. It might be on Hotstar because Simpsons is on Hotstar. So and it's made by Matt Groening. So I don't know, maybe because Futurama is actually, people don't talk about that much, but it is really like Matt Groening is a genius, man. Whatever he does really just turns to gold. Also, I hope all of you all know that iconic story because people are comparing South Park and Family Guy. That the creators of like South Park did a two episode long mega episode, which was really fucked up, which had where they were making fun of Family Guy, and after that, the creators of Simpsons sent them flowers apparently. So everyone kind of hates Family Guy. Is very सस्ता कॉमेडी. It's just cut away. You realize वो इतना easy है ना. वो तेरे और मेरे पास बजट होता तो हम लोग थोड़ा बहुत उस कर ही सकते थे. It's just cut away comedy, you know.
Yeah, I remember. नहीं, Family Guy तो very stupid, but Simpsons on the other hand,
Hmm.
like they got their society right. You know?
Hmm.
Like अगर एक American society and if you're trying to criticize it, you don't show things that are not possible, that are impossible, right?
Correct.
You show exaggerated truths and things that might happen, and you and I, we can do that for like maybe the Indian society. We can crack jokes
Hmm.
on how the Indian society in the next 10 years could evolve into something that is so unrecognizable that it's a joke right now.
Hmm.
And but like Simpsons did it now, and even South Park to some extent, they got that right. They
Right.
predicted.
I think South Park can something like South Park can never be made in India. First of all, because the moment, like the kind of shit they do on South Park is just like, dude, they have like, I think till date, Stan's dad, Randy, is Lord. The single Lord is Stan's dad.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
know
yeah,
this?
yeah,
Do you know that whole gag?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are you familiar with those episodes where he's pretending to be Lord?
I get you. The
Huh.
character who doesn't talk. No.
No, that's not. No, you're no, completely wrong. The Stan's dad is this one character. He can talk, but
Huh.
he. I'll just explain this. He basically pretends to be the single Lord. Okay, he is the single Lord, and the thing is, he just does this. Okay, he just does. I am Lord. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am Lord, and then he auto tunes and then they play like a real Lord song. Okay, after he
Huh.
auto tunes it, and like the world doesn't know that Lord is a 50-year-old man. Like
Ah.
they do that kind of shit, man. I mean, I'm just saying how in India, the moment you try to do something like this, you like Jennifer Lopez. Do you know who Jennifer Lopez was in the show for a while? Jennifer Lopez was Cartman's hand. He drew a Mexican woman on his hand, and you do like, I am Jennifer Lopez. Like that was the whole gag. Not as
Ah.
funny when I do it, and we could get fucking demonetized for this shit. But yeah, I had to do that.
And in
Randy is
this
actually more
one,
outrageous than Cartman. Yeah.
do you remember that
Uh,
Tourette's syndrome episode?
Tourette's episode is beautiful. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it has you remember that legacy, like people later on thanked them for that episode, right?
The Tourette's Association of America, I don't know if that's what they're called, but that whatever equivalent of that is, that they actually called Trey and Matt for some kind of a felicitation, because they said that people actually, like, despite them making a joke of it, people actually got to know about Tourette's from that show. Also, my friend Shravan is in the comments and he said 90 Day Fiance. Shravan actually I know that he watches a crazy amount of reality TV show. And me and Shravan and we were flatmates. And our final year of college, we spent the whole year watching random reality TV on YouTube. So maybe we should get him sometime to talk about. If you want to do an episode on reality TV, I feel like
We
it needs
should,
to be covered at some point. Yeah,
because we are running out also of topics
because
to talk
I
about.
mean we're never gonna run out, because you realize the number of directors we are supposed to. Uh,
Cover.
Kubrick ka complete new hai, as you said. PTA ka complete new hai. We've not covered like so many directors that we would like to. So
सच
yeah,
में
I think
रियलिटी टीवी के
I
बारे में
really
कभी
did
करेंगे.
not think when I started this episode that I will be mimicking Jennifer Lopez, and might have been a bad decision in the, but you know what, I'll deal with it. But lots of Tarantino list is pending. Yeah, we
We
need to do a
haven't done
Tarantino.
a
We've
we
never done an
haven't
episode
no?
on Tarantino. We've never, even on the audio. By the way, those of y'all who've been watching the podcast for a while now, and who've sort of found us from YouTube onwards, I would like you guys to also go to SoundCloud or Spotify or Stitcher or Google Podcasts and listen to the podcast which came earlier, because not all episodes are on YouTube, because we started uploading on YouTube only recently, about a year ago or something. So the earlier episodes are there, and there's lots of content if you haven't covered. If you'd like us to cover a lot of the stuff you've already done, so you can go check those out as well. Himanshu, what else? Community. Have you watched Community?
I've seen Community a lot, but not like the way you have seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it like in maybe a couple of episodes at a go, but like not
Hmm.
from start to end. So मैंने देखा
Yeah.
है, but I know the characters, and I think it's. But you tell me about your Community experience, because I kept hearing about Community from you.
Right. Community is one of my, I think, in terms, because out of all the sitcoms that I listed in my favorites, Community is the only one which is not R rated or something. Like, it's the only one which is like a little, I mean, Office is not R rated, but Office is pretty, it has a lot of adult humor. Community also has that, but a little less of that, and it's a pure American sitcom in that sense. And why I really love it is, first of all, because by Dan Harmon, and Dan Harmon also the co-creator behind Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
So I mean, Community as a show, I feel like it has one of the most cult followings out of all shows, because it never, while it is very popular, it never reached, that crazy global popularity that a lot of sitcoms like The Office or Friends or Seinfeld. And I feel like it is one of those that got shortchanged, because Community very easily could have been one of those massive sitcoms that go on for 10, 15 seasons, but it did not, for multiple reasons. and not the least of which including that these guys had a massive feud with Pierce Chevy Chase, who in real life is apparently very close to his character of Pierce on the show. But yeah, I think Community is just, I don't even know how to describe it, because it's just something you have to watch. It's one of the funniest shows out there, and the way
That's
that
the thing.
is,
I've,
yeah.
the thing is, I've seen Community, okay, like a lot of
Hmm.
it. But the thing is, here, like when Kavish just wrote, paintball episodes of
Yeah,
Community, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
correct.
The thing is, you can't describe it. It's not. It's very difficult to say
It's
what
very difficult
happens.
to describe it, because if you describe it, it sounds really stupid. But the character, I think Community, again, and just complete my point on that it's not R-rated, and I really like it, and I normally don't, because I think the characterizations are so I think they're really pitch perfect. Whether it's even like minor characters, like Leonard, who has like a YouTube channel where he reviews fast food products, okay, and like the like
Abed.
Abed though is the main character. I'm saying even the peripheral. Abed, of course, is one of the best. Chang, or even
I remember
Starburns,
this.
all
I
these
remember
characters are so
this.
well written. Yeah.
I remember this one particular episode. It's very funny. It's the one where Abed is trying to make a movie.
Hmm.
Do you remember? Like he's not trying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make
He makes he's trying to be like a really deep he's
indie
trying to be
filmmaker.
Charlie Kaufman. He's trying to be Charlie Kaufman, and yeah, he does that, which has that soundtrack, no, Abed, 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 like that.
Uh,
That it's damn cool. The movie about his parents is also really good. Suhavi Arya, uh someone
my,
related to
my
Himanshu Arya, I guess, has said. So yeah.
she's my sister, bro.
Of
What the
course. Yeah,
hell?
I'm kidding. I'm fucking around. But yeah. Thanks for joining us, Suhavi. Please like it and subscribe to the to the channel. But yeah, Community, in terms of another reason why I really love Community is because it is filled with pop culture references. It's like a pop culture nerds or a film nerds dream, because they like, have you seen the Goodfellas episode or their Star Wars episode, or have you seen those?
I have. I
So you
remember.
need to watch the Goodfellas episode. Like the way that every time they do like because almost every episode is talking about some pop culture phenomenon or the other, right? Because Abed is obsessed with that. So every time they do that, the really interesting part is how well shot and well paced it is, because they even shoot those things in exactly that way, and it doesn't seem hammy. Like if it's Goodfellas, so it's shot like a Scorsese film, but it doesn't go, it never feels odd. Are there any sitcoms in podcast format? I can't hurt my eyes after working long hours. That's an interesting question, actually. I know like there are serious podcasts like Serial and a lot of true crime podcasts, but I don't know much about sitcom podcasts. That's a good idea, actually. I feel like it can be done at some point by somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think somebody asked Harkirat just wrote, are there any Indian sitcoms?
Hmm.
The thing is, there were a long time ago.
What would you call, I mean, Office was an Indian sitcom, which
I
was
really liked. I
still
really
better
liked.
than Indian Office. I mean, it was still Sarabhai was
Sir,
Sarabhai, yes, that was one.
there was Hum Paanch, which I really liked.
You
I used
really
to
liked
watch.
Hum Punch?
I used to
What
watch it as a kid.
acha, as a kid bull.
It had it. I
uh,
remember the first episode has a thing reference. What do you call it? ET. ET reference.
ET reference.
Spielberg's Steven
Oh,
Spielberg's
by the
movie.
way,
It's
Suhavi has said that you were 5 when you really liked Hum Punch. So yeah,
oh
there's some
yeah.
some personal information coming out about. Please tell us funny stories about Himanshu immediately in public right now. It'll be amazing. Please, Suhavi. Uh, Dekh Bhai Dekh. I have never seen Dekh Bhai Dekh.
I've seen Day by Day
Have you
was
seen in
that.
college? By the way, in college, we used to get screenings of a lot of this stuff, older shows and all that. I remember Nukkad. I liked Nukkad. Was there? I guess it's a
Yeah,
really old show though.
but Nukkad is
Uh,
not exactly a
it is. It
sitcom.
is literally a sitcom. It's based around a Nukkad, and there's like a laugh track and everything.
Huh, but like there are some serious episodes. Like
A bit serious. You can have seriousness in a sitcom. It's just that format has to be. For Flip Show by Jaspal Bhatti. Flop Show was a sketch show. Yeah, I agree. I've seen some of those on YouTube recently, and dude, they're really smart. I feel like one problem with Indian uh, production in general these days, and the reason I say production is because लोग वो भूल गए हैं, मतलब लोग simplicity kind of भूल गए हैं. if you want to shoot a sketch, you can make it very simple. It doesn't have to. I feel like they put all the money in production and nothing in like writing or acting or any of that. They just kind of try to make it look as flashy as possible rather than focusing on the Zuban Sambhal Ke. They played it for us in college, okay, because we're getting these old screenings, and it has not aged well at all. By the end of that episode, there are people ready to like file a
Walk out.
complaint against college and shit. Okay, like we're not gonna watch this shit. So yeah, not Zuban Sambhal Ke. um Eternally Confused and Eager for Love तो अभी आया ना, उसका ट्रेलर मैंने देखा था
Arey,
Netflix पे.
which one was that where Shah Rukh Khan makes a cameo in that TV show? Do you remember that one?
I
Vagle ki Duniya. Vagle ki
Vagle Ki
Duniya.
Dunya was also, yeah, that's another sitcom. But
No,
all
there
these are
is.
old. The
Arey,
newer
but
ones are.
if you're
Uh,
recommending it to people who haven't seen it, then
no,
you
I
should.
know. What I'm saying is nowadays there is not like nowadays like I'm not even gonna mention it because of how fuck all. But yeah, nowadays there's not much of
No,
great
so I'll tell you what. Like,
sitcoms.
imagine what they recently did. Like, Vagle ki Duniya has been rebooted. There is a show called Vagle ki Duniya. It's
Hmm.
around the premise is same. You know, there's um, a head of a family, a guy, and he's struggling with everyday life.
I
The
know,
same premise. So they rebooted it with the guy who played like Sarabhai versus Sarabhai with the guy.
right.
The
Satish Shah.
husband.
His name is Satish Shah.
No, not that guy. His son.
Where?
His elder son.
Oh, right. I know his name also. He's a Marathi actor. I know, but I've forgotten.
Uh,
Uh,
so
yeah.
they did like, but it's not as funny. They were talking about. I saw one episode of that one.
Huh.
They're talking about like how children can watch porn even if you put parental control on the phones and all that shit. It was they're
It's really Uncle You. That's one thing. Even Sarabhai they tried to reboot, na, but वो चलता नहीं है. मतलब वो there was a time and place for it, and that's the thing in India. Like, did anyone here watch Better Life Foundation? I thought it was funny when it had released. But
I
yeah,
saw one episode. Is that one only? No?
it's
The one with
basically Office only. To be honest, मतलब it's that only. But yeah,
uh,
um, yeah, I guess. So 25 people watching right now. Himanshu, do you want to conclude, or do you have any more shows to talk about? Do you guys have
no.
any more shows you should talk about? Please comment immediately. So, have sitcoms lost their power after the blow up of stand-up comedy? Nope. Stand-up comedy was always there in America, and that didn't. And sitcoms have always also been there, so it doesn't affect one another. I don't think it's related. In fact, the more your capacity as a society to laugh at shit, the more stuff will be bought out. So I don't. In fact, I think it's better for
I think a
comedy to be
good
accepted.
I think a good sitcom is gonna come from the OTT space, Indian OTT space,
कब आएगा? मतलब when?
because I feel like really good content is coming out of the like
Drama space, like the more hardcore space. Yeah.
but like nothing really has caught on fire, like nothing has really
Has
blown up.
nothing got on. I'm just trying to. I mean, if Bharat was here, he would be contractually obligated to say what the folks, huh? 'Cause, but no, I mean, I don't think Servant of the.
No,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, how did we miss this out? Servant of the People by Vladimir Zelensky, who's the president of Ukraine. That show is out on now on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but I know the premise, and the premise sounds pretty good. Um,
and it's very
yeah.
short, no? Like 20-minute episodes with
Yeah, it's like a normal short sitcom length. Uh, okay. Is there any other? I don't now not a comedy, but I really loved that British show that I told you also about, Among Show. I don't want to. What the fuck was it called? The one about those British teenagers who then run away. The guy is a psychopath, dude. They're
skins.
forgetting everything. Yeah, one second. I'm gonna find out. Fuck, what was it called? Can someone help me out with this in the chat?
Are you talking about Skins?
No,
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 no.
no. It's a very long title. I don't. It has fucking in the title. End of the fucking world. It's not it's not a sitcom, but I really love that show. I think that is. I would
It's
recommend.
it's that comedy, right? Like two people they fall in love.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
in love, but they are
And the
both
guy is a
psychopaths.
psychopath. The guy is a psychopath, and he wants to kill someone, and he runs away with her. So yeah.
I'll tell you that there is this format of
Hmm.
these shows, okay, where like the guy and the girl they meet each other. They are incapable of actually falling in love, but they are also at that point after some incident inseparable, right? There are lots of movies like this. It's almost, and there's a, what is that book called? Do you remember that book with Heathcliff as a character?
I know. Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering It. I think it's like that format, where the people
Correct.
are obnoxious, but
Uh,
they,
obnoxious will they want the people love, because whenever people, and I think I find it very funny when people on Twitter or like people on the internet generally are like, oh, this character was so toxic. I think the reason people love these characters because everyone who's in love madly is more often than not really unreasonable and a little idiotic. Okay, so that's why people love. I feel like that's why people love watching these people also, and their will they won't they nonsense. So yeah, I
bro,
mean,
Indian TV show is only toxic will they won't they. Have you
uh,
seen? It's only that. Either now they've skipped Saas Bahu, na. Now it's not.
have
Now
they?
it's
I
not.
don't. I. What is Indian TV like? I have not switched on Indian like a cable
Have you
TV
have you
channel
ever
in a long
seen
time.
have you ever seen an episode of Anupama?
No. What is Anupama?
Yeah, have you ever seen an episode of Pratigya?
I have a
Or
bigger
wait,
question for you. Why are you watching episodes of these shows?
because my grandmom watches.
Acha.
I have seen it in my house. So Harvey has seen it if she's watching. We-
Just
So Harvey watches all of them. Like she
nice.
follows the
Uh,
story of a lot of these characters. And Anupama, if you don't know, it's one of the biggest shows in India right now. And
okay.
it's a crazy drama. Okay, you need to कभी अगर time मिले तो देखना.
No, thank you. I'll avoid this one.
Yeah, Kavish just wrote TVF shows are great. Have you
Hmm.
seen Panchayat?
I did watch the first two episodes and I liked it, but I never. I don't know. There are lots of shows के ऐसा होता है, I just don't continue, but I liked it.
I'm
I didn't
waiting for
find anything
Panchayat.
wrong.
I'm waiting for Panchayat season 2. I'm
Hmm.
excited for it. I'm waiting
That's
for
good.
Aranyak season 2. I'm waiting for Human
Oh
season
fuck,
2.
Himanshu! I can't believe you watch all this, man.
No,
I
bro,
really.
Indian. These are Indian
Bhai, तो
OTTs.
you should have like another. You should be doing more often shows on discontent,
भाई
talking
तू
about
देखता
Indian
नहीं है.
content. मैं नहीं देखता हूँ. मैं honestly ये सब नहीं देखता हूँ. मैंने बहुत कम देखा.
I'll tell you what. Aranyak is basically inspired by Twin Peaks.
What
It's
the fuck? Are you serious?
yeah, but like they have made it a little more Indian.
Hmm.
So, but it's interesting. It's like halfway through. It's a thriller, but then halfway through, is it a fantasy? We don't know. So
Hmm.
it's quite interesting.
This is the Ravina Tandon one you're talking about.
Yeah. Then there is this one. Yeah, the Great Indian Murder. Not bad.
I haven't watched that either. You know which Indian show I watched? I watched ये काली काली आंखें. I saw that one. I thought it wasn't half bad. I thought it was decent.
I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
It's a play on Shahrukh, where basically, as you can tell from the title also, it's basically that plot of, I don't know which film, Bazigar or one of those two, three, जिसमें villain था. But
Bazigar होगी ना.
they've just reversed the gender. Now it is the
Dar.
female.
Dar.
Yeah, Dar, right. So the female is the Shah Rukh Khan in this scenario. So it's very, very
It
interesting.
works well because it's like it's easier to say, psycho
I
chick.
think I think it was, I think the show wasn't that great also, but I think the premise is so good. I think it, for me, it held together quite well. At least till a point where it started getting ridiculous, but it was quite fun to watch.
Yeah, Mr.
Um,
Pink wrote that the good Indian shows that made some impact are Sacred Games and Patalo. The thing is, I agree, but I'll tell you what, Sacred Games was good when it came out, and Patalo was also good. But I think Patalo के बाद ना बहुत अच्छे shows आ चुके हैं.
That's what I think. Scam was good, man. I don't think there was anything wrong with Scam. And
Yeah, but like Patalo and Scam are still the ones we talk about.
yeah,
There are many more that are coming out
hey,
right
did
now.
you watch Rocket Boys? And I have fun. I have like inside stuff on Rocket Boys a little bit.
No, I haven't, but I want to watch it.
I want to watch it, but I remember when we had, Himanshu, when we just graduated from college and when you were working and you were also in Bombay, at that time, remember, I was sort of applying for writing gigs at that time. So I had not applied for Rocket Boys, but at that time, there was a show I was working on during which there was a lot of talk. Like Rocket Boys was like talk of the writers' room, because almost everyone I knew had something to do with, and it was a show that had been stalled for a very long time. So I'm really interested in watching that as well. So yeah, I
Okay,
guess we can
we can
conclude.
watch it. We can watch it at some point and talk about
We
how
should. But someone mentioned. I just want to see. Khadir Faruqi has said. Speaking of drama, thoughts on Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul is, I just absolutely love Better Call Saul, and the new season is coming out right now. Bharat, I'm saying, Himanshu, have you seen Better Call Saul?
I've seen
Okay,
the first season,
okay, no, that's a
but
so
the thing
please.
is, मैंने Breaking Bad ही नहीं देखा था, तो बहुत
हाँ,
problem हो
so I think that's a problem. So I think because on April 16th, the new season is coming out and I would love to discuss it. So I might have to get some guests on
गया. नहीं,
or or
I'll try to
or
watch.
or or alternately, no, Himanshu, it's okay. You can relax because what you can do is become a member on the Buy Me a Coffee link. And if you join the $6 tier membership, you can actually appear on the podcast and we can talk about Better Call Saul. So that can be something fun. If you'd like to support us, please go to the link in bio. What else? Anyone interested? For April 18th, Aman Verma 3050 has said, okay, April 18th. I think we can conclude the episode now, Himanshu,
Yeah,
unless you have something else to add.
no, I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
quite tiring.
Do you have some? Yeah. Do you have some recommendation?
I think mine would be that show that I mentioned.
Which one?
Kevin can fuck himself.
Hmm. Nice. I also found that premise really interesting.
And the
Um,
Peep Show.
and the Peep Show. So Kevin can fuck himself and the Peep Show are Himanshu's recommendations. My recommendations are Trailer Park Boys and Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I guess these two. And American Vandal तो आपको देख ही लेना चाहिए, irrespective of whether you like comedy or if you like watching stuff also, just watch American Vandal. But yeah, I guess that concludes the episode for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. There are 22 people still sticking around, and I hope all of y'all punch the like button, punch the fucking like, just press the like button and before you leave. Also subscribe to the channel because it really, really helps us out. If you'd like to support us more than that, there is a buy me a coffee link in the description where you can become a member of the channel and you can see the rewards and the tiers over there. The main reward, of course, is you can join our discontent WhatsApp group. So please do that. Yeah, and with that, we can conclude this episode. Thank you guys for joining. Good night and goodbye.
Bye.